And this is the global forecast for October 2015. It's one of those months where, as far as the world is concerned, there's going to start being some definitive actions the more we get into the end of the month. I suppose at the day-by-day level, the month is governed by the ongoing Mercury retrograde, which, although it concludes around the 9th, 10th of October, and Mercury will start moving forward from that time, the Mercury retrograde shadow, i.e. the place that Mercury has been moving over, will not be cleared until about the 20th of this month. So I doubt if we're going to see any type of cohesive sanity returning to the world until the last 10 days of October. I notice also that Pluto is beginning to move forward and in Capricorn, so the reshaping of the new world order, the new structures that are emerging are going to start taking place again. There is going to be the ongoing swing to the left around the world, as epitomised by the election of a Labour leader in Britain, the slight swing to the left, very slight swing to the left in Australia in recent times. The upcoming Canadian and Spanish elections are also likely to show a straighter swing towards the left. Also, the Russian airstrikes in Syria and the American airstrikes in Syria show, perhaps, fingers crossed, the first sign of some type of cooperation amongst the two superpowers after a long period of standoffness. With Saturn now moving into Sagittarius, we can expect more and more good things to be coming from the Pope and the sort of conciliatory approach of the Catholic Church towards women, towards babies, but I'll still be glad when they turn around and say, yes, the priest can get married, and yes, at least he's doing something about the papal banks. Saturn in Sagittarius is going to be reforming our ideas around religion, and he's certainly going to be taking a strong stand against the fundamentalists of all levels that's going on. With Jupiter and Mars both in Virgo, we're going to find a much greater attitude towards the environment creeping in, and environmental concerns are going to stay fairly close to the front pages over this coming month. Everything will have an environmental background feel to it. The full moon in Taurus at 3 degrees of Taurus around the 27th of this month is relatively inconsequential. It's not aspecting any big planets in the sky, so I'm not seeing the full moon as being significant, but the new moon that's coming up, I think it's on the 13th, indeed it is, on the 13th of October, is going to be opposing Uranus. So I would expect, bearing in mind that Mercury is finished going retrograde by that time, Venus will have moved into Virgo by that time to join Mars and Jupiter. So I would expect one or two surgical, incisive developments around the new moon on the 13th, which will probably shock a lot of people, but will actually be for the collective benefit of us all. It's a month where there's going to be some sort of moving and shaking beginning after sort of 3 or 4 months of relative inertia. It's not that difficult a time for individuals, but for the planet, it's going to be lurching in one or two directions, primarily towards a more left-wing environmentalist perspective that's going to really pitch left versus right in a big way. So I do expect political and economic situations to be kicking off in a way that's going to create ever more dichotomy, but this should not affect individuals. If the planet Earth were my client, I'd be saying, planet Earth, as far as October 2014 goes, have a patient month and wait until the end of the month before taking any type of cohesive action.